This is absolutely one of the movies that you must see in theaters. No ifs, ands, or buts. I really can't wait to get into this review. So let's start that, folks, right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be talking about the film The Green Knight. So yeah, this is film easily is a film you must see in theaters, and that's strictly because of the cinematography. It's so beautiful, just amazing visuals. Just the low light is so crisp, but you have to have something that's going to be able to show that clarity. I don't have faith in a lot of people's home entertainment to really appreciate this film in its entirety. So this is definitely one that you want to go see in theaters to get the full experience of it. Yeah, because the effects, the visuals, just everything with the cinematography is beautiful. And then the score. The score, which if you've been a fan of mine in this channel, you know I always talk about the score. The score was magical, like yet mythical. It was so good. It was really so good. I really can't wait to purchase this. I have faith in my home entertainment, and I would love to be able to see this continuously, because it's just one of those films that even if you don't care about the plot, just being able to hear the score and being able to glance at the visuals, you'll get your money's worth just on that note. But this film is one of those King Arthur stories that a lot of people may not know about. If you know about the source material, then clearly you do. But it is one of those type of one of those type of stories that is truly popular if you do really indulge in this era of novel and whatnot. And or most people read about this in high school, so it was in some people's curriculum back in the day. So like, there's a lot of familiarity with this. But if not, then you still can go into this truly appreciating the story, because this is a fantasy of Sir Gawain, and he's basically put to the ultimate test into being a knight. That's probably the simplest way I can put that. Like, it was a journey for honor, but at the same time too, it was also sort of a game that was being played, and then there was also like a kind of sinister backfield to this. Like, I'll talk about it in a second when we get to spoilers. But Dev Patel, who is your lead here in playing Sir Gawain, did a fantastic job in his performance. And along this journey, he meets all sorts of interesting characters. So when you really think about the different characters and performances that you encounter in this film, very distinct, very abstract. And even for people with very minimal roles, they make a huge impression. So overall, you know, for a film that I thought may have had some action, it was really driven by its character work and the visuals, of course, too. At the same time, too, the costume design was fantastic, so people made an impression without even having to say anything. This film also had a comedic tone to it at times that I wasn't expecting, but I truly appreciated, especially within the dialogue. Like, I truly appreciate the comedic tone to this. But in regards to the story, just to kind of give a little bit more context, you had this Green Knight. He comes into town. He basically lays a challenge, and this soon-to-be knight accepts the challenge, beheads the Green Knight, and now he's just loved all over the town, all over the lands. But he has a year to really complete this game, because this was a game. It was ultimately a game. And once he goes back to complete the game, I mean, he has to go through a journey in order to complete the game, into returning back to the Green Knight's territory to one more challenge. So again, in this special journey that he goes on, he definitely, again, meets some characters. He meets Titans. He meets a fox, a headless woman. There's a lot of kissing going on. Yeah, he also goes on a shroom trip. I'm also going to throw that out there too. Like, it's just one of those really crazy experiences that he goes on. But to like really bring this into context, like to really give here some let's talk about the ending now. Let's bring this into full circles. Everything that this knight goes on is truly string pulling of his mother. So at the very base of this is a mom who puts her son to the test to see if he's worthy of being a knight, yet to be a king, and she sends him in all forms of temptation in all different shapes, sizes, and whatever it may be, in order to prove if he's truly worthy to be king. Because like at the end, once he completes the journey, they start time skipping, and then he ultimately becomes king. But these are just like visions that he has in order to determine like if that's the fate that he truly wants. And this coincides with him completing the journey into facing the Green Knight again. But like the theme about this, about with temptation going on, and like the fact that the mom is the one that's really the one behind this, is kind of like, wow, moms is pretty bad. Like I get it, you want to make sure that your son is worthy of the position that he's being considered for, but this is a very drastic way in doing so. And when you see all the different temptations that is thrown his way, it's kind of like, yeah, he's not going to be a good knight. Maybe he will be a good knight. I don't know. And the fact that he pretty much almost died into doing this journey is definitely like, okay. Also, this film also gives you like the first Lord of the Rings film, The Fellowship of the Ring, without the best friends aspect to it. You got this person who's kind of like unqualified to do this journey, and the journey has all different turns and twists, but everything is driven on this person's success for the safety of the land. So like it has that feeling to it, but like, and even with like some of the imagery, the settings and everything definitely gives you that feel. But like, again, it's way worse considering that what he goes through, he definitely almost dies. To the point just like, dude, this is an unqualified person that wants to be a knight that goes on a journey that almost gets himself killed, and you're just like, what's the point of the story at this point? But again, I think it is very important that you go into this film realizing that this is really a film about temptations and all the different shapes and sizes that they come into. And if you truly desire to do something or to have something in this note, be knight yet king, then you know you truly got to show that you're worthy of it. But yeah, I think that even if you're not familiar with the King Arthur aspect to this, I mean, you'll notice the sword Excalibur. You'll definitely notice Merlin in this as well too. You still will enjoy it. I think you really truly will still enjoy this. There's not a lot of action, but the visuals are amazing. It definitely has this comedic tones to it as well. And then overall, I think it's just a good journey and experience to go now. Like to really understand, like this film did not feel like as long as it did. And it just breezed through, just shows you just the enjoyment factor into watching this film. So, again, just really quickly talking about the ending of this film. When they start showing the time lapses of him, like, you know, completing the journey, then becoming knight, then becoming king, then having a baby, and then what happened to the baby, him getting with the headless girl and all that other stuff, just for him to, like, realize that was a vision. And he definitely had a real depressing life, it looked like. And it looks like, you know, the fact that it was just a vision, and the fact that, like, he still decides that he does all this just to get his head cut off by the Green Knight. If he does, I mean, I guess that's for your determination to see if the Green Knight actually does really fulfill the game and to letting him do so. Like, it's super weird when you think about this. Like, he stepped up to say, I'll do it, just for him to have one more year of his life just to go back to get his head cut off by the Green Knight. It's kind of like, yeah, what was the point of that, you know? But when you think about this now, you start questioning, like, what was the purpose? Like, if he ran away from the journey, then his life is depressing, or he fulfills his prophecy, I guess we'll say, and then he loses his life. Yeah. That's that. But anyway, folks, this is the Green Knight here. Check it out. It's a beautiful film. You will have a good time regardless of the plot. Again, all the other filmmaking elements of this film really makes this film worthwhile, very enjoyable, and so on. So yeah, folks, jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts about this film. And as always, I'll see you around for more reviews very soon. Big gold bell.